This episode of Ties I Help is brought to you by Audible. What's up, guys? I decided to wear my hipster shades today to go along with my beard and mustache that I'm growing out for No Shave November, or Movember if you don't know about it. Google it. I've been seeing a lot of you guys comment on it like saying, Ty, shave your mustache. I will after November. Trust me, this stuff is getting long. Anyways, let's get into this. In this video, I'm going to be doing my review on the new iPod Touch 5th generation. Let's do it. So the new 5th generation iPod Touch has an all new design and I love it. It comes in 5 different colors now: black, gray, pink, yellow, blue, and product red. And the screen has been up to 4 inches, just like in the iPhone 5. Of course, it is a Retina display and the resolution of it is 1136 by 640 pixels at 326 pixels per inch. The new iPod Touch's design is super thin, lightweight, and just overall sleek looking. It's actually 4.86 by 2.31 inches with a thickness of 1/24 of an inch or 6.1 millimeters. And it also only weighs 3.1 ounces. So this thing is super light, super thin. You can compare it to an iPhone 5, to an iPad. It's just the thinnest Apple device or any other device like this that I've ever seen, and it just looks awesome. The iPod is so thin that they couldn't even make the camera on the back of the iPod not stick out just a little bit. Now let's talk about cameras, because both the front and the back facing camera on the new iPod Touch have been updated. The back facing camera is 5 megapixels and shoots 1080p HD video at 30 frames per second, and the front facing camera is the FaceTime HD camera, which takes 1.2 megapixel still images and shoots 720p HD video. And then you're also going to get stuff like autofocus, face detection, video stabilization, and panorama pictures. I've got some videos and pictures that I'm going to roll for you that I've taken from the iPod Touch 5G, from the front and the back facing camera, but I'm not going to show you a lot and waste too much of your time, just because the iPod Touch 5G cameras are the same cameras that's in the iPad mini, and then like the iPhone 5 other than the back facing camera. So there's not too much of a difference. Here's a little clip showing my iguana, filming this from the back facing camera. I'm going to go inside his cage here. Hopefully he doesn't try to smack me with his tail. Hey, Iggy. You look good on camera, Iggy? First try day on the rail. It's not first try because I've already been skating it, but you try to get as many tricks as you can in a row without messing up. Here we go. So hopefully, as you can tell from looking at those pictures and videos, the cameras on the new iPod Touch are really nice. I think they are great for an iPod or an MP3 player, or just a camera in general. Like, this could really easily replace a digital camera. Like, if I was spending $300 on a camera, I would just go ahead and get an iPod Touch, because it's not going to look that much different, and I'm going to be able to do a lot more with my photos and a lot more with the device that I'm spending $300 on. That's just my thought. One of the things the new iPod Touch 5G got was the strap. The strap comes with the iPod you get, and of course it's going to be the color that matches your iPod. And then now on the back of the iPod, at the bottom left corner, there's a button that if you press it in, it pokes up, and you pretty much just hook the strap on it, and then it stays there pretty well. I haven't had any problems with it really coming off that much. It's done it a few times, but not really when I've been using it. Now, I don't really like strap this around my wrist like this and tighten it up and hold it like that, just because that seems weird, and I don't really want my iPod just flying around everywhere. But what I have used this for is when the iPod is in my pocket, the string or the strap dangles out, and it makes it a lot easier to pull the iPod out of my pocket. But I haven't really used it to keep it from like flopping everywhere, because it doesn't really help me that much, and I feel like it would come off that if I just let it flop around everywhere. So yeah, I don't use it like that. The new iPod Touch, just like all the other Apple products, has the new lightning connector, so take that into account if you have a lot of accessories for maybe an old iPod or iPhone that you've used, because you're going to have to go buy all those accessories again for the lightning connector if you want to use one for it, or you can just go buy the adapter if that will work with your accessory, which is actually also 30 bucks. So either way, if you're wanting to use your old accessories with the new iPod, you're going to have to spend some kind of money. Battery life for me on the iPod Touch 5G has been great. I've been using this for skating a lot. I'll take it with me on a whole day of skating on a Saturday, and I'll be using it for music most of the day, and then sometime like in the middle of that, I'll be like recording myself skating. I'll just set my iPod down, use the front facing camera, turn it on, and just leave it recording for a while, and the battery pretty much lasts me for a couple days before I have to charge it again. So battery life on this thing is definitely really good. Apple actually says you're going to get around 40 hours of music playback and 8 hours of video playback. I haven't watched too many videos on it, but as far as music and just using the iPod, I would definitely say easily gets 40 hours of use if you don't use it just all the time. The new iPod Touch also comes with the new earpods, which if you haven't seen my review on them, they sound better than the previous Apple headphones we had, and they are shaped differently, which makes them fit down in your ears better, and I think that's actually why it sounds a little bit better also, just because the music's actually more down in your ear. You can wear these for a while and they don't hurt. They're definitely a lot better than the previous Apple headphones, just they're overpriced if you buy them on their own. And unfortunately, if you buy it with the iPod Touch, or if you buy it with another iPod, you don't get the little click button with the microphone, so you're not gonna be able to change your volume, your songs, or answer calls or use it as a mic. Now before we wrap up the video, let's take one last look at our sponsor, Audible. Audible.com is the leading provider in downloadable digital audiobooks and spoken word entertainment. They have over 100,000 titles for you to choose from in pretty much any genre you can ever want, and you can download these and listen to them on your smartphone, your MP3 player, your iPod, and you can play them back anywhere at any time. Speaking of which, their iPhone app is pretty awesome. They have a feature built in where you can tap it and it speeds up the playback of the audiobook depending on how fast you want it to be. So you can actually listen to an audiobook in half or a third of the time. If you want to check it out, go to audible.com/Ty and you'll get one free audiobook download of your choice that you can keep forever. And yes, it is completely free. One of my favorite audiobooks that I've listened to on Audible, which I've still yet to finish just because it's so long, is the Steve Jobs biography by Walter Isaacson. If you haven't checked this book out, you definitely should. It is on Audible, and it is a great read. It's super long, so you're going to get a ton of read time and a lot of entertainment value out of it. And yeah, Steve Jobs is an interesting dude, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in this book, and I think we can learn a lot from this guy right here. And guess what? You can use this as your free audiobook download. You can go download this and listen to it right now for free. Again, the URL is audible.com/Ty. Check it out, sign up, and you'll get one free audiobook download of your choice. So now for my final thoughts and a review on the iPod Touch 5G. I don't think there's any question about it. This is the best MP3 player or iPod on the market. I actually can't think of a competitor to the iPod that I would actually consider buying right now, other than like a smartphone, but I'm actually talking about just MP3 players. It's the best. As I said before, I love the design of the new iPod Touch. Actually, I wish that the iPod Touch's design was the new iPhone 5. If this was iPhone 5, that'd be awesome. Can you imagine that? So thin, so beautiful. And yeah, I just love the new iPod Touch. I love the colors of it. I love how thin it is. I love that it has a 4-inch screen. Actually, like the iPod for me is used for sports. Like I said before, skateboarding. That's pretty much all I use this for, because I don't really want to skate with my phone. I don't really want to like crack it. And also, I mean, it's not really much thicker than the iPod, but just adding thickness to it and that 4-inch screen, I feel like it's it's more vulnerable in my pocket, like when I'm skating or doing something crazy. Where this, I thought it was gonna be the same way since it has a 4-inch screen, but it was actually better just because it's so thin. It didn't bother me in my pocket at all while I was skating. Actually, it was better than like the previous iPod Touches that I've used as far as just being big in my pocket. I love it. Out of all the Apple devices that I've seen, this is my favorite design of all of them. The iPod Touch is pretty much right for everyone. If you're a kid, if you're an adult, a teenager, an old person, it really fits anybody. Now, if you have a smartphone and you listen to your music on that and watch your videos and play your games and everything on it, I wouldn't suggest really getting an iPod Touch. I don't really need one, but like I said before, the reason I want one is for skating and stuff like that, just so I don't have to worry about breaking my iPhone 5 and using this. And if you compare the new iPod Touch 5G to the iPod Touch 4th generation, it is definitely a huge upgrade. Pretty much everything in it is way better. The cameras, the size, the screen, just everything has been upgraded in it. But it does cost $100 more and start out at 32 gigabytes compared to the iPod Touch 4G, which they still sell, which starts out at 16 gigabytes for $200. So you are gonna get the bigger size if you do go ahead and spend the $300 on this though. Alright guys, there's my review of the iPod Touch 5G. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and it helped you out in some way to decide if you should buy this. If it did, please be sure to click the like button down below the video. I really appreciate it and it helps me out a ton. And then also make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos just like this coming soon, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace!